Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Gallagher Law Firm. I'm Keith Gallagher, principal of the Gallagher Law Firm, just starting my 42nd year of practice as a plaintiff's personal injury attorney in Las Vegas. Now, we've had a decision in that TAM case, which we've talked about in my recent posts, and the decision was adverse, certainly to the interests of the injured plaintiffs. No question about that. Now, what can be done about it? Well, we only have really one avenue. We have to go through legislation. We have to convince the Nevada legislature that they made a mistake 15 years ago when they enacted this legislation, because the Nevada legislature can, by legislative enactment, remove the caps. They can do anything they want when it comes to the medical malpractice law. Now, what has happened over the last 15 years that would perhaps convince the public that it would be in the best interests of the public to have this legislation changed? Well, those of you who have lived in Las Vegas remember the infamous Desai case. That's D-E-S-A-I. Dr. Desai ran a colonoscopy clinic here in Las Vegas. His staff were encouraged to use dirty tools, infected materials, and as a result, there were a whole lot of people that contracted hepatitis, HIV, very, very serious injuries and serious consequences to these people. Well, the damning thing about this legislation that we talked about that was just upheld in TAM is that technically the injured person, even though they may endure a lifetime of suffering as a result of the injuries inflicted upon them by Dr. Desai's clinic, those individuals would be limited and will be limited to a $350,000 non-economic award, even if the pain and suffering lasts for 50 years. Well, that's not the type of result, I think, that the legislature intended when it passed this statutory scheme 15 years ago. And perhaps now that we've actually seen the damage that physicians can do in our community, there'll be a groundswell of support on the part of the citizenry. I encourage all of you to go to your legislature. You've got a senator, you've got an assemblyman. Go to them, tell them, look, this needs to be revisited. This was a mistake 15 years ago. It was a mistake now. We want this revised. We want the statutory scheme looked at. We want the caps on non-economic damages removed so that justice can prevail and the injured party can get a full recovery.